So should we do this before we get started?
What?
Adentro,
Did you guys get
afuera,
shots?
up yours.
No, it's noon.
Wait,
So what?
you guys have the ingredients to make shots. You
Oh,
should
we
make the
do.
shot.
You want me to go get it?
Sure, Doug.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love duck shirt. I also like your pizza shirt, Mikey. Now I'm hungry. Great.
As if you eat pizza.
I can sniff it.
Seriously. I can sniff it.
What'd you
I
say,
can-
Doug?
You want me to mix it with Dr. Hyde?
No.
No.
He wants to put pre-workout in our drink. We just had
Oh.
pre-workout.
No, don't do that.
What does your shirt say, Lance? I think it says Christine, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't say Christine. Does it say stay inside?
I forgot what it says, actually, to be honest with you.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a Ninja Turtle thing.
Well, I see the Ninja Turtles. I just don't understand the text. You know, you and your metal friends with this font, y'all can't even read your own stuff.
All right,
Yeah.
what's our thing? Adentro, afuera, up yours, up your culo hole,
Oh
pendejo.
They're
my
not
God.
even
I hope
saluting
your
you.
mother-in-law isn't home, Doug. Jesus. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready?
Si, senor.
All
Yeah.
right. Salud. I miss you guys.
Salud, miss you too.
Miss you more.
Oh, there we go. God damn.
What is that? Did you just put vodka in there? This is Slashers, your favorite horror podcast about your favorite horror media. It is me, your host today, Mikey, joined with Aid, Lance, and here, he hasn't been here in a while, is what I meant to say, Doug. Everybody say hello to the Mutant Goons from Beyond.
Hello, mutant goons.
Howdy.
Hey, mutant goons from beyond it. And me and Mikey are in the same room together. What do you think about that?
Yes, we are. And all of us were in the same room together. If you've been following our page, no, we did not make porn. But
That we know of.
depending on how the Indiegogo goes, depending on how much money we raise, depending on how much people pay for perks, we'll see
I
what
know.
we'll see what kind of magic we can strum up.
Well, there's going to be
Yeah.
phase 2 in Texas. So if they would definitely want that, the masturbation scene with the watermelon, I think it's definitely.
Anyways, thank you to some of our listeners who gave us donations. We were able to raise more than I thought. I know I had an ambitious goal, but we raised more than I thought. So thank you. We had a successful opening production and it was great. Everybody did great. And I'm excited to keep it going in Texas. So Indiegogo is going to open up for the phase 2 later where we can possibly, hopefully raise money to make the remainder of the shot as good as possible. Why did it tell me we take a shot? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
No, well, I figured you guys ate something. I forgot how
No.
early it is. Well, I
I'm
was-
drunk.
Me,
Oh my
eat,
God.
aid. It was a competition
No.
between us about who ate the least.
That's true. That's true. I know. And you know what? We had a good time. The thing is that I was thinking about it yesterday. Like we didn't really get a lot of like time together. I feel like all of us were separated. Like all of us were doing different things or whatever. But I'm just happy I got to sit with Mikey at the dinner table and shoot
Unless you
shots,
were up
so.
at like what 4 in the morning on the East Coast for
Oh,
our
yeah.
1 o'clock on the West Coast live moment there where all of us
Oh
were
my
pretty decently
God.
drunk.
That I'm still debating if we should leave open or not.
I know. Well,
Um,
if you guys haven't watched that yet, it's a whole shit show. Actually, it's cute though, because I mean, if we could just take a screenshot of all of us sitting there, that was cute.
Yeah,
Not all
we
not all
can.
of us squinting at the camera because we couldn't see.
Not that
comment.
screenshot, Doug.
Oh, Doug.
But yeah, that was fun. But yeah, we spent like a couple of days together, but that wasn't with Doug and Yahira. When we were all together, depending on who was filming what, it was kind of like a exchange of bodies. But it was fun. We had fun. Now we know what to do next time, and you know, hopefully we can boogie on over to Florida, do a light. We'll We'll infiltrate Austin's house and be like, give us your sound recording studio. We're gonna do a slashers episode here. But oh
Give
my
me,
God,
give me your house.
put that away.
Oh my God, Doug! What is that?
Now I'm
Put
gonna
that
have to censor
away.
that on YouTube.
It's a
I
prop gun.
know. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's a prop.
God.
Okay, Alec Baldwin. Anyways, so
Okay.
as we know, this is the final week of Febsess, which I've quite enjoyed. Febsess, pink hearts, red blood. And what a better way to close it off than with our next film. If you're not watching YouTube, maybe you don't know what it is. If you don't have me on Instagram, then hopefully you don't know what it is, because I'm going to give you some clues first. This film was born in 1987, just like me. It was banned in Iceland, Malaysia, Singapore, Ontario, and who gave me the shock? And Nova Scotia. Ontario,
that's where
Canada.
Condoleezza's from Ontario.
Yes. Hey, Condoleezza, we miss you. She's still here.
What?
And the final clue is John Waters is quoted as saying, this is the first romance movie made for, almost said the wrong word, necrophilia. Can we guess what it is? It is Bluey. I'm just kidding. Nekromantik.
Same difference.
And it actually works out because, we all wanted to pick a movie this month that we wanted to bring to the table and each host. And I didn't want to make Doug host this one because we didn't give him the prep work. But did you pick this one, Doug?
I think I did. I think we were going through the Blu-rays upstairs. I'm like, oh, I got Necromantic. That's a romantic movie.
Yeah. So technically you picked this one. So we did. Each host picked a movie each week. So that's a fun thing. Maybe we can keep doing it. Now, the movie stars, I don't know how to pronounce this name.
I think
It's
Jorg.
Jorg Boutgereit.
Well, that's who created the movie. Jorg Boutgereit. It stars
I love you.
Beatrice M. Bjork, yes, not Bjork. She's from Iceland. She probably hasn't seen this movie because it's banned there. But is it Dicateri Lorenz?
It's Bernd Dactaria Lawrence.
Yeah,
His
that's
name's
his full
Dick?
name. Deck. Yeah,
Dak
Deck.
or Dick?
And this movie also stars James Gunn.
No, it doesn't.
What?
Oh my
It does not. And it also stars the fabulous Beatrice M, which I found out her last name, but I'm assuming she didn't completely use her last name for a reason, so I'll respect that. Beatrice M. Interesting fact, though, is that Dicateri Lorenz, Burn Dicateri Lorenz, which this is the second burn we had this month, Burns Gorman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Dicateri Lorenz, I don't know how much he had to do with it, but he's also one of the composers for the film, which is an aspect of the film that we'll touch on later.
I was gonna ask. I was like,
Wow, Lance.
Thank you, Lance. I know the woman's speaking, but we have to talk over her.
Women's Month is next month, so don't
Yeah.
don't try to
fuck
come
with
in too
me.
early.
Don't fuck with me next month. But no, that's interesting that you said that because it's the same thing with part 2, except for the girl who plays the main chick. She also does music
Oh,
in
really?
part
That's cool.
2. Yeah, so I don't know if that's like a thing. I'm assuming she's probably a musician first. Like, I'm sure all of these people who I don't know. I'm sure Doug knows more than me, but I didn't really do too much research for it because I feel like I had to watch it.
And that's enough.
And I feel like that's enough. Yeah.
Poor Miko.
Oh, yeah. Was Miko watching it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stella was watching it too.
Tell Miko that's what happens to kittens that don't use the litter box.
And the cat looked just like Miko too. That's what bothered me the most. I was like, you son of a bitches. And of course I was messaging all the guys. And the only one responding to me was Jason. Thank you, Jason.
Jason's like, no, don't watch it.
Yeah, Jason was not too keen on the fact of possibly coming and joining us and rewatching it. But we'll get into the movie. So a quick summary. It's actually, it reminds me of Watcher because I was trying to break down the summary. It's kind of like Watcher in that it's just a simple premise, even though it's disgusting. But basically a guy works for a crime cleanup scene where they dispose of the bodies, and him and his girlfriend have a propensity for the undead. He brings home a dead body for them to canoodle with, and drama ensues.
Well, more cheese man. Because this could be, I mean, with necrophilia involved, it's like a Spanish novella, like the love triangle.
It is. If you just, like, change the dead body with a willing participant, sure, it's a novella.
I mean, she does leave him for the dead body.
Yes. Well, with that said, we're gonna start getting into spoilers. If you want to watch the movie, be warned. Be warned. Be warned. It is extreme. It's a schlock movie. It's German. It's on Shudder, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the same, because of course Doug has like the uncut version, so I'm not sure if Shudder has that one. But look up trigger warnings if you have to, because there is some things that may upset people. But it's 71 minutes, so
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
probably the best thing about it. You were
Yeah.
in and out. So
Speaking of
just like the
uncut,
dead body was with her. Go ahead.
I think the nastiest scene was that guy taking his dick out to piss, and it was
Oh,
like that
yeah.
yellow pit.
Yeah.
This guy needs more water.
I told Doug that was me back from the
He's not
airplane because
hydrated.
I wasn't drinking enough water the whole day when I landed. I was like, oh, gotta drink water. But yeah, so the film opens up with and I told Doug, I was like, are they prisoners? Because you know how they take prisoners around to like go clean up trash,
Mhm.
and they kind of looked like they didn't look professional. And I was like, are they prisoners or are they scientists? Neither. They're cleanup crew.
yeah, so we have BioClean companies obviously here as well. So that's not, it's just strange because normally, like, for a dead bodies here, for what we're used to, it's like a forensics team going out and there's tape everywhere. Like, they're actually
I
using
mean, you don't
trash
just have a
bags.
little triangle with the skull on it?
No, they have a little trash bag. They're just like stuffing body parts because it opens up with a woman peeing, which is hilarious. There's a lot of excretion in this film. And so
Yeah.
I feel like it's like symbolizing like, and I don't know why I was sitting there analyzing this last night because I'm like, I have to have something smart to say about this movie because it's not a bad movie.
No, it's erotic.
It's not. Well, I didn't feel that it was erotic, Doug, but thank you. It kind of reminded me, and I'm sure Antichrist borrows from this film, and there was another movie that I'm sure borrowed from it as well, and now I can't remember what the fuck. Because I was thinking this last night, but I also had several libations as well, so now I can't remember. Um, yeah, but like, what else does this movie borrow from? Like something else too, like sort of like Dead Alive, like how Lionel is like this meek being shoved around by the women in his life kind of character. Like I feel like Rob in this case is the same way. But yes,
Yeah.
we open up with a lady pissing in the woods, and then she and her husband, I'm assuming, are lost. They get into a horrible car accident, and she is ripped in half. That was fun. And his eyeballs poking out.
Yeah, it's just every day on the 405 here. Like, just check out Live Leak.
You know, it's funny you say that because I had no issues getting to the airport all by myself in my little rental car. So I think I could live in LA
The other
now.
people on the highway did, but she didn't.
Listen, when Florida comes to California, we cannot help what happens here. You
Yeah,
should be
it's
very
like
afraid.
there's nothing an issue with driving here. She drives there, and all the other cars, people are crashed. Their bodies are cut in half. Their eyeballs.
The
Yeah.
are sticking
airplane
out.
leaves and it just looks like the Walking Dead scene.
Behind scenes explosions and everything behind her.
It's like, nah, twerk nothing.
And then Doug's like, "Don't take the what is it? Don't take the carpool lane." I was like, "Shit! I was gonna put that teddy bear in the front seat with me."
Actually, you could have gotten away with it with the rental. You know,
I know. I'm like, I
Mm.
don't know. I don't live here. I don't know what this means.
What's a Hav? But back to the film, like Doug was saying earlier, there's that scene where it takes place at a urinal. The guy walks up, takes his pants off. It's really dark, so you really don't see everything. But I was like,
I could smell it.
is that his dick? And then like
I
the
think
pee
it's
starts
peed in his
coming out.
hand.
Well,
Did you
that's what
see
I
that?
thought too, but no, it's
It
his
was, like,
skin.
dripping.
Well, it's foreskin because
He's
we're not
like-
in Germany.
Oh yeah,
Oh
European.
yeah, he's German.
Yeah,
He's not
yeah.
Jewish.
So, you
Was
know.
ist los, ist leak? Hi.
Ew, Lance.
Oh,
Speaking of, the
God.
color of your shirt reminds me of this scene. But we literally see him take a full pee, finishes, shakes it a lot, puts it back in, and the camera stays there. And like another guy starts walking up and says, "Are we about to watch the whole thing again?" So we saw this movie in 2 phases. One was in the morning. And then the other, we finished it at night with Doug's mother-in-law in the background. So that was great.
And she said, "De veras?"
She's like, "I dug in your movies," and it was funny because I had a different mental state in both different phases. So I think that kind of contributes to how I felt about it. Because in the morning, Doug gave me like crack cocaine before the gym, and I was very anxious when I got back, and I was nauseous. And we started it, and I was like, and I just had like eggs. I was like, and so we stopped it, and then the evening when I finished it, we may or may not have been drinking, and I may or may not have been buzzed, and I was like, oh my god, I totally get this movie. So
Now we got into deep physical, like, man, the mise en scene is so with scenery and it's so French, but it's German.
Oh.
It's
Well,
German, yeah. It did feel French, actually. I don't know. There was something about it that
the
seemed like,
sex.
The
well,
sex, yeah.
probably the extreme, because it was very,
It also might be
yeah.
that I don't know if we know of any German movies at all. Like,
I
can
know,
you think of any?
Germany makes movies? Like, who knew?
I think they made
Das
Amsterdam. No, never
Boot?
mind.
Oh
Oh,
God.
yeah.
They made
That's
Das
a
Boot.
great one.
That's a good one. I
Lance.
actually like Das Boot.
I don't know. Is that a boat?
Isn't that a cup that you put beer in?
That's after they died in the submarine. They in memory of Das Boot.
There you go. As a submarine. I knew it had to do with something that was in water.
It's like, oh wow.
Well, then what's the beer? What's the boot called? It's called
A
something.
boot.
No, it's something in German. I don't know. I should probably know these things. I know that
It's
my
literally Das Boot.
Well,
Well,
if you want some
whatever.
context, for you German splatter like kind of film connoisseurs, there's Jörg Buttgereit who's like did these necromantic ones, and then there's Andreas Schnasch who did like violent shit and Zombie 90, and then there's Olaf Ittenbach who did Black Past and No Reason. So a lot of these are like German gore splatter films. So there's some context for you.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, I don't know if you ever saw Anatomy, early 2000s. Actually, it was 2000. That's from Germany. I saw that when I was
Oh,
a
okay.
teenager, and I always liked it because that one girl was like, it's about college doctor students and like a slasher. And she's like, I'm here for my anatomy lesson. And then she's like stripping on top of, typical student stuff. Apparently, Funny
Doug.
Games is the German movie, maybe.
Oh,
It's
yeah, it
listed
was.
here. Nosferatu. And
Oh yeah, Nosferatu. I don't know why we couldn't even think of that. Like all of us should have gotten that.
Creep, not the found footage one, but the one from 2004, available on Tubi. That's a German film, and that movie's really good. Freaked me out. It's the only time I ever saw my mom jump from a movie. And then Goodnight Mommy.
Mm.
Oh, Human Centipede, I guess.
Tom
Human
Six is German,
Centipede
yeah.
is German? Oh wow, okay. I didn't realize that.
But yeah, so there are some German horror films, or maybe it's like Suspiria's, the new Suspiria's on there, but I think that's more made from a German filmmaker, not so much a German horror movie. Or maybe it takes place in Germany. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to that
No,
movie.
does it
But
does the spirit takes place in Germany? No.
The new one takes place in Berlin.
okay, so I
Oh,
guess
okay. I'm trying
okay.
to think of the old one because I know they're Italian, but
Would it be
whatever.
German
Anyways,
adjacent?
Yeah, which side of the
German
Berlin
Well,
Wall?
Berlin is in
Yeah.
Germany, so no, it's just German. Lance.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I know I'm too.
Somebody
I know
get-
I'm too mean
somebody-
to you, Lance. I'm gonna be nicer.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
need another
so-
drink?
No, I
Oh
don't want
well,
to drink.
it's funny. So shout out to Joe for listening to our last episode. He did say that our last episode was one of his favorites, and he doesn't really know why, but he also said that me and Mikey need to stop picking on Lance.
I didn't do anything, Lance. I haven't been here for a hot minute. So
Oh,
I'm
I
off
know.
the hot seat.
I was like,
Well,
Let me just
yeah, no.
apologize to the straight male population for anything I've done to make you feel oppressed or offended. So that is my public, sincere apology.
I
I see, I
that's
appreciate
And
fair.
by the
Joe's-
way, I'm
Oh.
the one that shout out your podcast, Joe. So don't bite the hand that feeds your podcast.
See, I appreciate Joe, but really weirdly enough, it would be really weird if they were too nice to me. I would almost think there's something gonna happen to me if they were too nice to me.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Come on in,
legitimately.
Joe. Here, enter our garage, and you see the plastic covering all the walls.
And
exactly.
like Lance is hanging from the thing and he's dripping in the bowl like
Yeah.
the movie.
See?
Yeah.
AIDS bathing in his blood.
Oh,
But
I
anyways,
know. I loved that scene, by the way. Anyways, see that this
That's
movie could have
disgusting.
been Women's Month as well.
well, possible hint for next month.
Mm.
Mhm.
Because there is a second
Yeah, I
thing.
know.
What the fuck is that?
Where did
Balloons.
it come from? Who did
I
that?
don't know. What did you...
Douglas.
Who said we didn't have effects?
It's a circumcision celebration. You snip in the balloons
I
come.
don't know what.
Does it happen? Oh,
Does it happen to all of us?
I know. I was like, I want to cut away now.
Now we're all like doing it.
Well, I was just signaling Necromantic 2. Maybe we could do that for Women's Month because Necromantic 2 takes place with the girlfriend.
Yes,
Yeah.
Doug, that's exactly
Oh,
what
yeah.
we're talking about. You're missing the point of what just happened, which was that we don't know where those balloons came from on
No,
screen.
we don't. And
Anybody
all of us couldn't
watching
have
the YouTube video will
Yeah.
see that.
That's how you know we're all
Anyway.
still jet lagged. Anyway,
Yeah,
Um,
back to the film.
back to
So
the film.
they like sleeping with dead bodies. Interesting. I was kind of thinking to myself, they bring home a is it the guy that died in the car accident? Was that what it's implied, that they brought him home? Okay.
No,
Is it?
so
It was a
what
separate
happened
body.
it's a separate incident. So there's two okay. So I think that what happens at the beginning is that the car accident kind of shows you how Rob is because Rob suddenly takes the eyeball out of the skull, right?
Mhm.
And then he puts it in his pocket and he brings it home. So it's kind of like setting us up and setting the audience up to okay, they like having body parts. Then we see his wife bathing in blood, fun. And then we see, which this was hilarious to me. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy with his little thing on his head picking apples?
Oh,
And his neighbor is just shooting into the sky like this drunk that he is. So the neighbor comes out, he's picking apples in his cute little outfit in his basket. He looked like Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. And I was a little drunk, so I kept imagining the tree smacking his hand as he was picking the apples. And he gets hit by a stray bullet and he dies. And the neighbor comes over to shake him, like, are you okay?
he's the one that shot him. So
Yeah, he shot him, throws him in the wheelbarrow, calls his friends who own this company, and they come and clean the body up. And that's the body because nobody cares. Like, this is supposed to be a cover up. So this is what I'm assuming that Rob realizes, oh, I can take this body home with me and no one's going to miss it. They found it in the river or something.
Wait, is it like? 'Cause I feel like they never went back to that. Because how long is it from that to this? Because it seemed like that body was definitely rotted out way faster.
Yeah, they found it
Yeah.
a while later because probably they needed him to decompose so they couldn't identify it. Because
Yeah.
apparently there's no SVU going on.
That's
in this
definitely one of those
episode.
moments where you need a 1 week later.
Oh,
Yeah,
whatever. He was
it-
still juicy.
Oh, gross.
Oh, I was gagging in my mouth when she's licking it, and the pus is coming
Oh,
out.
and he sucks the eyeball out.
eyeball. Oh God! I wonder what that was made of. Sorry, go.
No, the eyeball was a pig's eye. The
Oh, so
eyeballs
he-
they used is, I don't know about the one he sucked out, but like the eyeball that he puts in like the formaldehyde or like when there's eyeballs involved, it's a pig's eye that they used because like someone lied and said they're a medical student and went to like a campus for medical students and that's how he was able to get the pig eyes.
Nice.
But they bring the body home and they have a threesome. This is a small thing, but the movie is so quick and it's so it makes you think yourself about the choices that are made. And so I was thinking, is it purposeful that they brought home a male's dead body and not like a female's dead body? Does it matter? Which would you prefer, Lance?
Well, here's the thing: is they threw on the attachable. He literally cuts a pole for this moment. Then my favorite part is when they put the condom on because that means you're not psychotic if you have a condom on it because that
we
means
have boundaries.
yeah.
First of all,
Tetanus.
that would yes. Plus,
But
it's
does it matter at
that's
that point?
a little hard. That would hurt, and she cut it a little long because I doubt that she can even handle that.
9 inches. As we learned in the last episode, 9 inches is how deep the vagina is.
Well,
Oh,
Magic
God.
Johnson fans have never complained, so
Oh my god.
Oh my God,
Doug.
Douglas. So the thing is that I don't think it matters what the body is. I honestly think because from what I gathered, and remember this, I'm reading the subtitles here. I'm also dyslexic, so who the fuck knows if I read it correctly? But um, they
No one
got the
knows.
body because basically the neighbor was trying to cover up what happened. So it stands to reason that nobody would miss the body, and that's why he's able to take it. So I don't think it matters
Yeah.
if it was man or woman. But Lance just wanted to talk about the pole part. So anyway,
Yeah, that was the most unrealistic part for me because
but the
I
pole.
would assume that something like this doesn't feel so great. We could maybe get a cucumber involved, or
Yeah,
you know,
like
I thought
a
a
carrot,
dildo.
a
yeah.
dildo, like
And then to
something.
stay up
A dildo can stay up. You get a stiffer one.
to attach to a corpse. How would that be staying up without somebody holding it?
It's not like a floppy one, it's a stiff one. There's different
You
kinds.
just super glue it to like the hip bones.
The hip
Yeah.
bone's connected to the pipe.
You could have used the pipe to cut. Oh my God, why are we
Because
talking
these
about
two
this?
look like they're really experts at all these things.
Well,
They've probably
Okay.
done it before.
take the
If I had
pipage
to
of the
sit on
venereal.
it.
Ew. Yeah,
Yeah.
sit on it for a day and let's
Yeah,
revisit.
yeah. Lance, I'm gonna send a poll to you and you can sit on it and
Yeah.
see how it feels.
Also, he's the one that cut it.
After you fuck it, it's like, oh man, it's I got my period early.
Oh my
This is a
God.
really
Anyways,
we're gonna really have to put a disclaimer on this one.
Well, it's necromantic.
Mikey.
What do you expect?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because-
If they come into this not thinking we're gonna be like talking like this, is probably bad.
I mean, I
Yeah.
gave trigger warning. This isn't a big one. Anyways. So I was also thinking as an artist myself, and please don't look at me differently. I'm just trying to figure out how to make this scene better. I kind of wish they would have just like broken a rib and used that, because if you're, I know, but like it's more like symbolic. Like if you're gonna have sex with a dead body, like have sex with a dead body, because technically she's having sex with a pole on top of a dead body.
well, but she can't get his dick up, right? So she's got to
Well,
put
that's why you
something there.
break a bone and have it.
Well, yeah, but the bone would be sharp.
Well, if you like, you know how like we have a
Not from the
rotisserie
broken
chicken and you
end.
take the leg off, and there's like the
Oh,
joint
like
part,
a femur or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
you know,
Well,
nice and thick.
You're telling me you never fucked like a chicken bone?
you know what? I can't remember the last time I
Actually,
did that.
if you
so-
fuck a rotisserie chicken, are you considered a necrophilia?
I can't confirm nor deny.
Would you put a pole in the rotisserie chicken, or
Oh,
would you put the
God.
dildo? Like, what would
I'm
you
just saying,
do?
I just
All you
fuck the
need is-
rotisserie chicken. We all get those
Like
temptations at
Thanksgiving.
Costco.
The
Doug's
commercial.
next film.
Family reunion orgy. That'll be in there.
Yeah.
I know. Well, everyone thinks we made a porn anyways. May as well just go ahead and throw
Hey,
that in
that'll
there.
help phase 2 to get some donation money.
I know. Well, this episode might be the episode that sends our podcast to the grave.
Affiliated with
intended.
browsers. But no, we're sponsored by browsers at this point, so may as well.
Might as
Browsers,
well, yeah. Riley Reed just gave us a follow.
browsers and Topo Chico.
That's-
You know, from both ends.
Hmm.
But yeah, so there really is only like, I mean, not that there's only, but there's 2 sex scenes with the dead body. There's the orgy with the boyfriend slash husband, and then I guess Beatrice, whatever her name is, has sex with him by herself, and like,
she cheated on him.
Well,
that
and then
scene.
don't forget he does kill the sex worker, and
I like how
Oh,
A
yeah.
was trying to look for the right word for say that instead of the other
well, I
word.
didn't want to call her the other word because
it's
I kinda feel-
2004, Lance.
yeah,
Right.
it's
I
2024.
mean, 2024, excuse me.
What the fuck was in that shot? Like, oh my God.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one.
No, because
Doug definitely wants
Last
another one.
I know Doug wants another one, but the last time that happened, he fell out of the chair and
Yeah,
we had to call
bone
you hire
dry.
us. So
Bone drying. What a pun.
seriously. Well, it was his birthday. He deserved it. So there you go.
Well,
But I think that like this, so the scene with the hooker, or I'm sorry.
you're gonna get us canceled by Lance's new band.
Well, I was watching Pretty Women last night. I know. There goes the act going to start protesting us, and Lance's gonna
Oh
pretend
my
he doesn't
God.
know who either of us are.
Excuse me.
Uh,
We fully support Lance in all of his artistic ventures.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Yeah,
I
You're
just
appreciate
like
that, Mikey and Doug, for chumming me up. I do appreciate that for the show last night.
I
I
love
did
how he
share
says
your,
Mikey and Doug.
Well, you didn't do shit.
No, of course not.
That's why he didn't
Absolutely
say
not.
I will say I was under the impression this was going to be more from her point of view, but it's not. It's from the husband's point of view. And
Mhm.
so she ends up leaving her husband and takes the dead body. And she's like, I'm out. I took whatever his name
I
is.
took our little friend.
Yeah, with
Well,
me.
Yeah.
remember what she says to him though before she leaves. She's like, if I find a man with money and whatever, then I'm out of here. Like you're ruining the best years of my life, which is also commentary because she can't get what she needs from her husband. She can't get support from him financially. Don't look at me like that. I see your face, and you can just stop that right now. She
Who are you
can't get
talking
what
to?
she.
Because everyone's
I'm
kind of
talking
like.
to all of you because you're all men.
Where's Miko?
Miko's in there.
I thought you were
Shut
talking
up.
to Miko.
No, I know. Poor Miko. And that was another thing too. But we're not going to talk about that yet. So before she leaves, she's complaining because basically he is a failure. Like he can't keep the job. I think he has that job so he can bring these body parts home, but he's not doing very well at it. And from the beginning, we know this because the company that he works for is bitching about him. And they're supposed to, like, I think, represent sort of like fascist thing because this is Germany after all. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but whatever. And so he's just a failure. She tells him, like, if I find somebody better, then I'm leaving you because you're ruining and you're taking the best years of my life, which I found so interesting because a lot of women feel that way, especially at that age. And she takes the body, which is the only thing she can find better, which I find ironic. But yeah, he can't keep a job. He can't keep bringing bodies home. Like, what need does she have for him? He can't fuck her like the corpse does, I guess. So there's
I
that.
mean,
I know people like that.
Do
yeah.
you blame her? Like, do we really blame her? No, I don't blame her. Especially considering what happens at the end of it. Well, I think that she manipulates him. There's sort of like a Lady Macbeth thing going on here with these two. So I think that may have an influence on this film because she does
So do you think
manipulate him.
she left him more because now he can't get more bodies? Or because he
No,
got
he can't.
fired from the
He
one
can't get
job
more
that could get
bodies.
bodies?
He
Yeah.
can't get bodies. He's not providing. He's not making any money. She's sitting at home on her ass in her bathtub, waiting for
Not
him to
working.
provide for her, not working. But she was hot except for her armpit hair. And I'm sorry, I know this is supposed to be like a feminine thing. Thank you, Mikey, for your women's lib comment last night. Whatever. Okay, as far as that goes, you're not more of a feminist than me because you have body hair. Okay, if you don't want to shave your body hair, you don't have to. But I live in Florida where the humidity is everywhere, and it's disgusting to me, and I don't want to see it. And as a feminist, I feel like I should not be judged for the decisions that I make because I have control and autonomy of my own body.
I don't even have that much armpit hair, so
I
there
don't
you
think
go. I
any
think
of
she
us
won the
do.
competition.
Well,
She did.
anyways.
It was dangling.
No wonder we thought it was French. Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway.
Yeah, so it's after that she pretty much just leaves and he goes into like a downward spiral. We see a bunny die and it's real.
Well-
So if you don't like that, don't watch it.
I was still upset with the fact that like he hit it with a stick and then he's like sliced. I go, why would you add to that? Like, just
Well,
cut
I
his
told
throat.
Doug, I was like, is he trying to like break his back? So apparently what I researched was that they went to a bunny farm and this bunny was they were slaughtering it for, to prepare it for whatever they were going to
Yeah.
do with it, eat it or whatever. So like, that's how they do it. And so when he hit it, I was like, is he trying to break its back? Because they didn't hit it very hard. I'm just glad there was no audio because bunnies scream. I used to have two and they scream. And so it's the creepiest sound you'll ever, if you ever see a hawk take a bunny away, it screams and it sounds very
Aw.
disturbing. So
Well,
It's so sad.
and this is
I
normal
know.
too because
Like, no.
I said they scream, they don't talk. Jeez.
They say no.
Yeah, they give you the Darth Vader no when he falls down the shaft on the second when they did the remix.
oh, that's right.
Oh, that's
But
okay.
they do.
If it makes
They
you
do
feel
eat
any
bunnies.
better, bunnies are like, oh, I'll just fuck my
Who eat
wife and I'll
bunnies?
have 20 more kids in a second.
Well,
What?
that's the thing because
That
that's
is a
what
fact.
my cousin used to have a bunny farm in her backyard.
Yeah.
Julia's father, and he used to sell them to all the Puerto Ricans because they would come and take the bunnies for dinner.
Yeah,
So,
and they
like,
have
we'd go
bunny meat
feed
at the store.
Yeah. So I mean,
Excuse me, rabbit meat.
well, I know, but he looked like a bunny, and that was the thing. So Jason told me that the bunny dies, and thought it was going to be more like how they tortured the animals in Deodato's Cannibal Holocaust. And
Yeah.
so that was what I was worried about because I'm like, I don't want to see that. But I mean, this was like when you gut a fish, like it's the same
Yeah.
thing. I mean, you're just eating it. So
Yeah.
I think what happens is he had seen that at a young age because remember he has the flashbacks of it at the end. So I
hmm
feel like that triggered his masochist tendencies because, or yeah, because like basically he gets off watching this.
With that, it leads into his downward spiral, and
Yeah.
he hires the sex worker, and he can't get it up until she starts laughing at him and he starts strangling her. Then he can get it up, and then he basically has sex with her dead body, which that was the part your mother-in-law was behind us.
I was laughing.
And that was a really long scene.
Well, I would have laughed
So
at him too.
I wouldn't, because I've seen all these movies. I'd be
I
like,
mean,
I need to go to the bathroom real quick, and I would run away
it
because,
is pretty.
like,
Sorry.
yeah. If you think it's funny,
I
go to
thought it
the
was funny.
bathroom,
I
go
thought
to
it
the
was funny.
bathroom and laugh.
He couldn't get it up. Not that she died, but he
No, I
couldn't
know,
get
but
it
like
up.
I'm saying, like if I was with someone that couldn't get it up, I would try my hardest not to laugh because every movie I've seen, when they laugh, they get killed. Not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you're
it
right.
was like Abe's like, no, I would still laugh. You're like, no, you'll die.
Yeah,
You put that
yeah.
pathetic
He will
little
strangle you.
pecker
Oh,
back
Yeah,
in
but
you.
then
Yeah,
again,
no.
I could probably
You
take
had
it.
one job. I feel like I'd start yelling like what's her face in Creep Show.
Yeah, you and your piggy friends.
Yeah,
Doesn't she die?
Well, yeah, but she dies because the thing eats her. So whatever. Anyways, she was the best. That was my favorite character. That's what we should. Oh, we already did Creep Show. Otherwise, that would be my woman's moment. But anyways,
of course,
so
your woman's moment is taking down another man.
well, duh.
Why don't y'all save the earth or something?
Call me Billy. Everybody does. I mean,
Oh,
she's basically me. Like, come on.
yeah, basically, that's why I love it so much.
Um, but yeah,
Anyway.
so after he kills the sex worker, he goes home. Then he kills his cat and bathes in its blood. And I didn't even know the cat was in there. He like had a bag, and because he put the heart that he got from the dead body into the basket in the bag, and he hit it against the wall, and there was blood.
Well, if it adds to it, he brought the cat as a gift to his girlfriend.
Yeah, I
So
really like the
yeah,
cat carrier he had.
Initially, yeah.
yeah, that was a cute cat carrier. And I think we're getting things mixed up because I think he killed the cat first and then he finds the hooker. And then at some point he goes to the movie theater and I feel like this is and I don't want to say this, don't think that I think that this is a cinematic masterpiece in any way, shape, or form, but it is a commentary because at the beginning we have the foreshadowing, right? Where they're talking about how we're so desensitized by violence, right? And basically these people are super desensitized. And in the commercial world, in the movie theater, all of the people watching that woman getting slaughtered, and they're all like,
Yeah,
with the one guy's hitting Rob over the head, like get the fuck out of my way, which I would have done too because that guy like came in late and he sat down right in front of him. Like, who does that? And Rob is the only one who is bothered by it, which I thought was interesting. So there are very poignant parts of the film. So if you want to
yeah,
watch it for that, you might find something.
Well, you could be okay with the idea of not murdering people. Like maybe he finds murder disgusting, but the fact of a dead body still being beautiful, even though it's dead and soulless. You know what I
But
mean?
he
That
murders the sex worker.
Well, he does only in anger because she's fucking talking about his dick not getting hard.
But he
And
also
not
knew he couldn't get up if he didn't kill her. She had to be dead.
I don't think he
I
knew
think
that by
he
then.
yeah, I think that was more like he knew he can get hard because he likes corpses and his ex was into that too, so it was easy to like have that commonality, and he was still trying to get sex without the commonality of the corpse part. So when she belittles him in that vibe, and most of those scenes where you're getting belittled by whomever it is, your reaction usually is anger and murder. So
Typically, you kill
Oh,
someone.
oh, really?
yeah,
No, okay, as you do,
No
as you
shit.
do.
as you do, and these yes, God. But my favorite part was
Maybe we should be nice to him.
the part where the I guess the crypt keeper technically rolls up on them, and like he has a shovel that drops down. He's just like, this shovel must be the sharpest shovel ever. That he is able to chop off somebody's head halfway through. It was probably the best scene because of the blood.
Yeah.
And the
tongue.
twitching.
Yeah, oh my god, it's so great. That's my favorite scene, honestly, because it was just like, what's happening here?
That was like a Three Stooges with gore scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I think that one was meant to have a little bit of humor there, and because you need some sort of reprieve from a film like this, right? Because there are funny parts to it.
Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't be fun. I mean, most people. Okay, so if you're like a normal person and you're listening to this episode,
We're normal people.
we are normal people. I'm just looking for positives here because honestly, like I feel like it's easy to shit on this kind of movie because the quality isn't that great.
I think the
you
quality
know,
is what adds to it. Like we were talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that, like the Super 8mm. Because the thing is, like, this is probably not something for people. It's like, oh, the scariest movie ever is The Conjuring 2.
Oh
know.
God. Like when somebody told me Sinister was the scariest movie, I just
La
sat there
verga.
like,
Yeah.
I like the
so?
handwritten parts, like in the beginning makes me
Oh,
feel like
the
I'm
credits.
gonna watch something like really fucking creepy, and it, you know what I mean, like it adds to the like, all right, man, this is somebody's heart and soul into something, and they're having fun with it, and they're enjoying what they're making. There's stuff like that where I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, you're gonna get something where somebody's like, yeah, this is fun. These are the parts that I like in movies and I enjoy in movies. So I went into this like initially like kind of like, oh, cool. I've seen pieces of this movie before because people use a lot of these scenes for other things.
Mhm.
But to see it all together and that, I was like, oh, this is really cool. I love this. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of rad the way they put it together. I'm excited to see 2, actually, to be honest with you.
Dude, nastier.
I'm scared because if Doug says it's nastier.
He was very nasty.
Yeah, two. I watched about half of it last night, and then I switched to Pretty Women because you guys told me I didn't have to watch it. I go, well, then why the fuck am I watching?
Well,
this
it's
right now?
nastier than the first one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think it's more empowering for women. The second one is definitely centered around women more. I think it's really gross when she's kind of, I don't know what they use. It must be like petroleum jelly or something that they use when they're like all juicy and she's touching it and it's like coming up in her hand and stuff. Like it's pretty. First of all, she was digging that grave in high heels, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to give her props for that. So maybe we'll talk about that for Women's Month.
Women walking in high heels in general is fucking props. I'm sorry. You're like, who made this and why?
I know. And I looked amazing too in my scene.
Yeah.
My heels on.
Well,
So
Jurassic
there.
World had that girl running around the woods in her high heels.
Oh, I know. Give me a fucking break. Whatever, Bryce Dallas Howard. I don't believe it for
Making
one
every
second.
other woman look horrible in running scenes.
Well, yeah, I would have taken my damn shoes off. Like, girl, you cannot run that fast in those shoes, and you know it. So anyway.
Anyways, to round off the movie before we actually talk about the movie in general, we have the very poignant ending. Lance, could you please tell everybody how the movie ends? Thank you.
Oh, my favorite scene is basically this man decides to commit suicide. By the way, when he starts to commit suicide, there's no dick to be seen out at all. I don't even think I saw him zipping down his pants.
He does. He visibly
Does he
does
zip down
it.
his pants? I don't remember seeing it.
Unzipping it. Yeah.
There's a lot of cradling with a knife back and forth, and should he stab himself or not stab himself? It was like a back and forth, and you're thinking, oh my god, is he gonna do it? Is he not gonna do it? Is he gonna touch it? It's not gonna touch it. And then he stabs himself, and then rock hard dick. By the way, if that was actually his cock, the pole actually works size-wise. I'm just saying that right now.
It
I
was
don't think that
I'm
was.
Yeah,
shocked
that guy
that
was
she
a
left
John
him.
Holmes.
Yeah,
That
legitimately.
was him. That was not him.
No, that wasn't his dick. That was a
Oh
prop
my
dick.
god.
Well,
But
yeah.
what
but
he's saying
as a
is the
prop dick.
character.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
character. If that was actually his character's dick, and she left him for a seal style rod that you guys are all saying that would be horrible in your vagina. I don't understand why she
Yeah.
left him for the corpse. He must have been that horrible of a person to leave for a dead person.
Well, yeah,
with
he
a-
wasn't making any money. Like he was a
Yeah.
bum.
Yeah, hello.
Like,
He couldn't
fuck
bring
it.
any more bodies home.
Again, man,
Exactly.
here it is. We have to make lots of money for people to be happy with you.
Yeah, see, you could have the biggest dick in the world and women aren't
But
satisfied.
Lance, you didn't finish.
Oh, sorry. As he said, stabs himself in his stomach, a gut punch, literally. He gets
Oh,
rock
here we
hard
go.
and spooges. Just If you can see me on YouTube, folks, you would see the gesture.
Here's the short.
Yeah, there you go. Mr. Fister live in
I
concert.
wasn't even paying attention. I looked up and I'm like, what is happening?
Show me your Venus's vibrator.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop doing that, all of you. We're gonna get banned from YouTube. Oh my god.
So yeah, he starts getting off because it's the ultimate payoff. It's his death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the ultimate orgasm for him personally. And it makes sense. I mean, especially in the ideal of the movie, you know, because it gets hard from dead corpses or dead vehicles of your body, you know, hearts, you know, body parts. But like legitimately, like you're kind of like, oh, I mean, that makes sense. Why would it not end like this? I mean,
It's very poetic.
yeah, it's kind of like, okay, cool, you know, it's a symphony end, you know, and it's like
Tons
it's
of
done.
sperm.
Yeah, I was like, in my head, I was like, wait,
Everywhere.
he must have gotten weak even more so.
I
But the
mean,
best part
he
was
got
like,
and died. So
yeah, well, he starts squirting out blood from it too at one point. I was like,
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
man, it's just like, I was like,
Yeah.
is he gonna spit out come from his mouth outside of the spit? You know, it's like,
I don't know. After
Uh,
after that, he's gonna sleep good.
yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah, he
forever.
definitely did. But that's what I'm saying is like that's Antichrist clearly borrows that from this. Like, who the hell? I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't have a penis, so I don't think about blood squirting out of it. So who knows if this is like a thought that most men have.
You could pee blood from the vagina. I'm sure of it.
I
I'm
don't think
sorry.
you
I get my.
pee.
You don't pee blood. You get your period. That's what that is. Okay, so that's
Well, opposite
fine.
from
But
that, you
it
can still
doesn't
pee blood.
spray everywhere.
I've
Does it?
No.
Are you sure?
I don't know what girl you're dating that does that, but no.
I already told you, Lance, I'm not a girl. That's why that happened.
Well played, Mikey. Well played again.
Um,
Yeah. And then, of course, she ends up going to his grave at the end of the movie, and it's insinuated she's going to steal his body, and then to be continued. So the
Aw.
movie ended for me, and I felt conflicted because there are some parts where I was like, what are we watching? And other parts I was like, okay, I kind of can see what they were trying to do. So I did a poll on Reddit, and I got lots of feedback, and I was basically like, hey, I don't know how to view this movie. It's like I watched it. I'm not mad that I watched it. There are some positives for it. Like there's a lot of parts where the score is actually pretty good.
mhm.
Even though it can be a little full moon, I feel like it works. And
I knew you were gonna say that.
Oh, I
yeah,
know.
it's kind of haunting in a way. And like the movie for me, I was telling Doug the part where when she takes the body and like the oil of the body's on the wall, that creeped me out.
yeah, like you see the stain and then the two plates with blood.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like it's pretty horrific in general. But I was just like, what makes, and not in a judgmental way, but like what makes people seek this out? Like what makes people be like, ooh, like exploitation, schlock, I can't wait to watch it.
Oh, I
And
thought you were talking about necrophilia.
no. Well, I mean, but that goes into schlock because it's all about like the taboo subjects and things that we're not supposed to show. And
True.
the director was even quoted that he never intended to become a filmmaker. He just wanted to rebel against what was going, like all the censorship that was going on. And so he decided just to put the most outrageous, offensive stuff into one movie, which congratulations, you did. But a lot of the explanations I was getting from film goers was very similar to like why we like punk. Like it's not traditional. It's going against barriers, but underlining there's a message there. It's social commentary. Like it's a way to kind of sneak in messages in the guise of something that like the average person wouldn't listen to for music or see in regards to films. So I was like, oh,
Mhm.
well, that's cool. And I saw your face, Lance, when I said that. Feel free to rebut me.
What's
all you
Lance
like.
saying?
God.
What am I
He's all-
watching?
When I
PBS?
said
Oh,
it was like
you
punk, the gatekeeper of punk over
had to
here. You should have seen the
mention.
conniption
He
outfit he
is
had
the
when I was putting my music
gatekeeper. Oh
on
my
last
God.
time.
No,
He's like,
but I mean,
what do you listen to this? This is punk.
I do like the fact that you reference to it. I just like, I get it because it's like, you know, if you really can't even play your instrument, you can still play punk. Like it's just it's a great
Yeah.
it's a great avenue to go into something. If you just say you're a better speaker or a better singer, you know what I mean? But like you got to play an
Yes,
instrument
I
because
know.
some people can't do that well at those, but it allows you to have that opportunity and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I get it. It's in my head. I was thinking, well, I feel like that about a lot of music, but punk, yeah, that's probably the easiest way to get in. I'm just offended because I'm going, yeah, I guess that's true.
You're offended
Like,
because I'm right.
yeah, no, I am. I'm like, no, he's absolutely right. Fuck.
Well, no, to follow you up on there, like when I seek this out, it was very hard to find. And this is back when I was in high school, but I was looking for like all the sleaziest exploitation films possible. And this one was one of them, like the Ola Fittenbach ones, Andrea Schnaas. Um, so I think it's just the shock, like at the taboo, like when people would share Faces of Death, it's like, oh, you got to watch this. Remember, it was like a big,
Nice.
like a rites of passage, and I feel like that's what this was. So.
So any extreme, like, so, obviously Germany, French, like we have extreme films, like, everyone likes to fan their nuts, as Jack would say, over the Serbian film, right? So it's like, what can shock you the most? But there's always a commentary behind these things, and it generally has to do with what is going on in the society that the film is being made. And so we know with France, they're very, what did Jason say they are? They're just very angry all the time.
Yeah,
And then
something like that.
obviously Germany it's a commentary about the class system there, because of how he's being treated at work and what he needs to do in order to be a man, what's considered whatever. Because we're talking about Germany here, I did not say America, so thank you very much, sir. And the Serbian film obviously is a commentary, and I still haven't even watched that one because I don't want to, but obviously we know what a Serbian film's all about. So I just think that it's interesting. I didn't hate it. But anyways, go on. I'm sorry, Mikey.
You know what's funny though,
Your
if
turn.
you think about it, is these movies are kind of like trolls for back in the day. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, like Doug, it was kind of like fucking fell off.
Douglas, Doug, you did the balloons, didn't you?
That's what Mikey
Son of
said
a
now.
bitch. Oh my God.
I have no idea what
It's
sorcery
like I'm
is
like I
doing.
just I want it to happen now just automatically. But I mean, would you consider these movies like trolls for that time frame? Because like you were saying, like Doug, it's basically he wanted to fight the norm of like society and stuff like that. But I mean, people do that all the time now, kind of trolling people. So it was like movies were like the aspect or music, even punk, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because it's like kind of like I'm not good at this, but you know what? I can still do it and still piss you off at the same time.
Yeah, and that's what like Gross House was, just to fucking piss off and troll the viewers or play when your aunt's for Thanksgiving. That's really
Yeah.
what it is.
It's just
I feel
it's an act of rebellion, but the plus side is whenever there's actually something to say about it. Like, because we
Mm.
always know there's things that people make just to shock you, just to shock you. Like, I really think Serbian film probably was like, oh, what can we do to like fuck people up? There was no message behind that.
Well, the Serbian film supposedly is a commentary about how corrupt the Serbian government is.
We know.
But I don't
We
watch
don't
it,
need to
but
be showing
So
what
is
they
the Sound of
showed.
Music.
Yeah, so it's the
That's
Sound
it.
of Music.
Get against the
And
patriarchy.
yeah, but and it's funny because I also the feedback I got from Reddit, it wasn't all that what I mentioned wasn't all that was said. It was just kind of the stuff that made sense for me. Because sometimes people just also like extreme stuff. Like, I'm not like a fan of the extreme, but I know if I'm having a really stressful day or I'm really stressed out, watching like a really mean-spirited movie kind of like helps.
Mean Girls
Um,
movie wise, is that what you're saying?
yes, Mean Girls, exactly. I said mean-spirited, Lance. But yeah, so I think, it definitely doesn't go for everybody on why they like extreme movies. It's just what I pulled that I was like, okay, I could totally see that. So I liked this more than I didn't. And I was very surprised by it, especially when I was watching the first half in the morning. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this. But, after a couple of drinks, the California air,
you
I
got
was like,
loosened up.
yeah, I was like, party. But
It's like, whoa,
Now
she's
that,
hot
now
now.
that it's sunny over there.
yeah,
Yeah, I took the
uh,
rain home with me. Sorry.
I gave it a 3-star out of 5-star. So
Mm.
how do you feel about it overall, Aid?
I would say a 3, maybe 3.5. out of 5. Like, honestly, most of us will go into this film thinking, oh my God, it's like you hear all of these things about it and you just think that it's going to be the worst thing you've ever seen and it's going to be so explicit. It's going to be that. I don't want to say that I was that shocked, and only because I feel like we've watched enough terrible things for the show that it was fine. Like it was good.
Yeah.
I think I was
Yeah.
upset more about the cat. Honestly, the cat bothered me
So the
more than
fake
the
animal death
necrophilia.
opposed to the real animal death.
The rabbit has
Animal-
nothing on her.
The
Yeah.
rabbit wasn't
She ate the
tortured.
rabbit.
The rabbit wasn't like it was being because they were going to eat it. It wasn't like he was
Yeah.
being tortured and those little paws. Oh, oh, bless his heart. I can't even. Anyway, so that bothered me, but the cat scene bothered me more because it looked just like Miko 1 and 2. The kitty really started to trust this motherfucker, and
Yeah.
just like his wife, he's disappointed another woman or another
Pussy.
person. Yeah, he's better with the dead people than he is with the living.
Well, that's what he gets for having a balding bad haircut like that. So
True.
Well, speaking of, Doug, give us your review of the movie.
I give it I give it a 4 out of 5. I do like this one. I think the name and the idea behind it is like everyone's like, oh, necromantic, this lady fucks a corpse. And that's like the general idea of people who that haven't seen it yet. I think a much more exploitive movie and grosser movie is the second one. But yeah, this one's fun. I think it gets a little slow, like kind of fans its own nuts when he's like running around the field going, you know.
There was a little extra.
Yeah, I think they could have cut it down, but then you have a 60-minute movie.
Yeah, I think they put stuff in to extend it because they're like, well, I want to make a movie about necrophilia. We already shot those scenes. Well, what do we do now?
Dream sequence, go.
No, I was gonna say, but I think the idea of it being much more exploitive and gross is in the second one.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll see. Lance, give us your final thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, I actually kind of want to go with Doug. I'd give it a 4 just because it kept me interested, most of the time because I was kind of always kind of waiting for what was going to happen next a little bit, just because I mean it was just kind of like, okay, like honestly I didn't really realize, like I thought he actually took the eyeball out just to like so it wouldn't fall out. And then I really realized later on, I go, oh no, he kept it. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like stuff like that, like it's just little things like that. I mean, yeah, I think the dream sequences were just random. Honestly, the way that it was edited, it's a little hard to tell that was the guy that they find later on in the swamp kind of deal.
Yeah.
For me, at least personally. I thought it should have been better if they had it before, hand, because they technically find the body, but you're like, oh, that didn't really make sense. Technically,
Yeah.
like I get it now more so because you guys brought it up, but like I was like, oh, I guess that
I explained it so well. I know.
yeah. I know how happy
Sure,
you are
Abe.
with that.
Sure,
But no,
Jen.
like, but for all purposes, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was like you get love, you get lost in a relationship. I mean, throw a real person in there, technically, you know what I mean? It's just you're almost a regular day fucking kind of slash rom-com kind of deal, like honestly, but like a horror version of it. No, it was a good movie. Like I'm excited to see 2, to be honest with you. And it's nice because it's a change of pace from some of the stuff we have watched, in a little while. I mean, and it's nice not to just assume what's going to happen next in a movie, or some of the movies we have seen. Horror does have a way of kind of like repeating other horror movies or ripping off other horror movies. And it's nice to see a movie that kind of was an originator of some of the other stuff, that people have ripped off from. So you're kind of like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, that was one of the cool things, is because of the movie's age, like you're watching one of the groundbreaking ones. You're watching one that hasn't really been done before. So it was interesting to kind of watch it from that angle also. And also I was very anxious the whole time with like, I don't know how Aid's going to take this. All I knew is my conscience was clear because it was not my choice. But
yeah, I kept turning to you. I'm like, oh, Aid's gonna complain. She's like, what the fuck did you make me watch?
I know he was like, how do you think Aid's gonna? I was like, we'll find out tomorrow. But no, I'm excited to watch the second one. A little nervous because this one wasn't my limit, but it like tiptoed almost to there. And because when you think about it, it's really, oh no, there is some. I mean, it's gory, but the gore isn't really like realistic. The thing that's most disturbing about it is just the idea of what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
you know, she's having sex with a dead body. Like, that's kind of, or that is gross. It's not kind of gross, but you know, it's not gory. Just grinding on a skeleton. But apparently, the body in the second one is a lot nastier.
A lot
So
fresher.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Ugh. So I don't know. I think the second one might tip you over the edge, Mikey. Right. That's why I was like, oh, if I don't have to watch it, I'm not going to finish it right now. Like, I'm good.
Oh, you're gonna have to watch it just next month.
Oh, well, that's true. But I wanted to watch Pretty Woman so I could remember all the stars because we walked over all the stars that they would like
Oh yeah.
solicit themselves on. And I was like, oh, doing that.
You mean
So-
the many bums we passed were pissing in a corner as their piss rolled over their star?
I mean the one that was asleep and you got mad at me and Aid for not checking on to make sure he was fine, but you also didn't check in to see he was fine.
Yeah,
Facts,
like Mr.
facts.
Like,
But it was definitely one of those moments of humanity where we're all like horrible human beings, all of us. I didn't say just
Yeah.
you two.
yeah,
Oh,
including
wow.
yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Holier than thou over here. God forbid.
I didn't say that. Just saying,
Mm.
it was funny that we all, but you two literally were like had to step over to walk
Well,
past
because
him.
he was sleeping. I didn't want
Yeah,
to step
I was
on him. What do you want me to do?
sure.
Step over him like he's not there?
You didn't have
He
a
was
pocket knife? Sometimes you just
fine.
got to stab them, see if they're alive.
He was laying horizontally across the sidewalk and we gingerly stepped over him. I don't think,
Gingerly.
at least we didn't step on him. And so there's that.
Yeah. Like the
Nope.
saying goes, come on me, not in me. With that said, we will bring this episode to a close. I hope everybody had a super great February and enjoyed our Febcest month, pink hearts, red blood, and after this episode, white cum. So with that, you can find us on Instagram at Mutant Goons from Beyond or slasherspod. You can find me at Horror and a Half Show. You can find Aid at Pathologically ADE, Lance at Lance versus Hate at Zombie versus Hate, Doug at Doug Bizarro. You can find us on Facebook. Mutant Goons from Beyond is our page. If you follow our pages, you will see the pictures from Noelia and get a lot of homoerotic type situations that I had to calm down because I was like, Doug and Lance are going to get mad at me because the people are going to think they're actually gay. Yeah, perfect.
Three,
And
I
it's
know
just
you guys
Lance.
were so adorable on the blow up mattress. That was a great shot.
Oh,
Follow
yeah, it
us
was
for
hard the
more.
whole time.
Yeah.
Well, you were in the middle.
Oh, no. Of
Yeah.
the Bonnie Rotten
You were the
Sandwich
base of the
tree.
Eiffel Tower. Whatever. But with that said, we'll be back next episode with Women's Month. Go ahead. Oh yeah, Patreon. If you want if you want exclusive content like extra episodes or early access to episodes, you can find us at Patreon at patreon.com/slasherspod. If you want to go to Redbubble and buy some merchandise, it's slasherspod.redbubble.com.
And we should
Okay.
try to get new merchandise. Yeah, but yeah, join the Patreon
Yeah,
too. We'll
there's
give you
some stuff in the
perks,
works.
explicit
Those are
content,
nice
and we'll give you all that.
Anyways, but yeah, with that said, we hope everybody has a good rest of February. Last week of February, we'll come back to you with Women's March. So without much further to do.
That's not our podcast.
Goodbye. I know. Goodbye and don't die.
Die.
Oh, Tay.
Bye.
You know what's funny is Lance, you like that. I just see you with an afro that has destroy on it. So this whole time it looks like you've had an afro.
Mm. I know.
I think
he
it's
likes
good
to-
that Chromecast camera did you good.
Oh my
He flips
Thanks,
his
I'll-
bill because he's so special over here.
Flipping bills and Benjis.
Whoop,
Oh,
whoop. Yeah, cash.
oh.
That's what, or was that said in the podcast? I don't know how long we've been recording. When you were like,
Okay.
it's a soap opera, and I was like,
Yeah, cheese man.
Telenovela.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, we're coming up at the end of the hour. That's FYI.
I will be the judge of that.
I'm just saying.